Hey everybody, and welcome to the Nick and Nate Plus More. I am Nick. Here with me today is... Damn it! You know, you'd think in a Nick and Nate Plus More, there'd be a guy named Nate. Here with me today is...
SETH 37.
Hey, how you doing, Seth? Go ahead and tell us, first off, where can people find you? Obviously, both of us are from Chaos Legion Gaming. Zoltan!
Correct.
But tell people where they can find you.
Twitch.tv/SETH 37. Twitter is SETH 37 and Instagram. Although I'm not on Instagram at all, but
right.
On YouTube, SETH 37 on YouTube as well.
So, I mean, we actually had quite a interesting day as far as the industry goes. PlayStation came out with some news. I mean, you play on the Xbox.
Correct.
So this might be an interesting perspective to get because we have a Sony pony and an Xboxer in the same show. So it might be interesting. But yeah, so we're going to get PlayStation Plus is basically getting bundled with PlayStation Now. That's essentially all that's happening. There's a lot of confusing language in it because it's when you really boil down to it, that's all that's really happening. So you got the regular PlayStation Essential, which is going to be $9.99 a month and $60 or $50 a year. And that's just basically what we get right now with PlayStation Plus. We get our 2 free games a month. We get online access. We get cloud saves and things like that. Then you get PlayStation Plus, which is $14.99 a month. This is where it gets confusing because it's so goddamn vague. But we get 400 PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 games. So... PlayStation Now, that's the part that it's okay, you're thinly veiling some information, trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, guys, get hyped, but it's no, that's PlayStation Now. I mean, we're getting a discount.
You're rebranding.
Yeah. We are getting a discount because normally a PlayStation Now subscription would also be $9.99. So we're already getting $5 off because it's $14.99 a month. And obviously if we do a year, you get an even bigger discount, right? So it's that's kind of cool. But then we get premium, which is $17.99 a month. And once again, you get a discount if you get a whole year. And so once again, super vague, additional 340 games. And they're going to be PlayStation 1 games, PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, and PSP. Some of them will be downloadable, but some of them will also be streaming. And I think the main ones that will be streaming are the PlayStation 3 games, because PlayStation 3 decided to do this weird core processor that nobody could figure out, and they don't want to take the time to try to emulate it, even though I'm sure we could literally type in PlayStation 3 emulator and download some kind of torrent, and get it. But hey, Sony, it's just too much of a bother. I mean, so being somebody, you have Game Pass, right?
Correct.
Okay, because I assumed you weren't an idiot, because if you have an Xbox and you don't have Game Pass, there's just questions that need to be questioned. So, I mean, you hear that, what do you think?
Then it looks like they're just doing the same thing that Microsoft's doing with Game Pass.
Yeah.
I mean, rebranding it and matching the price, so it's not one of those. Well, on Xbox, it's only $14.99, and right. I get live and all the blah 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 blah.
Right.
I don't know that Game Pass has a premium
quote unquote
feature, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean their premium is Ultimate, which is I'd assume that's what everybody gets anyways, because I do believe there is backwards compatibility for Xbox games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's original Xbox games, 360 games, and Xbox One games on there right now.
Yeah, so I mean, you
all
already
of which
get
I
that.
browsed through, and it's like, oh, that was a really cool game. I wouldn't play it. Okay, that's a really odd. Nope.
No,
wouldn't play
too
that.
much time.
Yeah, not enough time.
Yeah,
I did run through Halo 1 through 4.
Nice, like original, not even the Master Chief Collection.
No, the Master Chief.
Oh, okay.
So,
you made it sound since you're bringing it up.
No, I ran through those. I have not completed the 2 new Halo games.
Yeah,
the campaigns. Yeah. But again, it's like nobody watches campaigns when I'm streaming,
right?
For the most part. So it's like, okay, well, I do this on my time. Well, yep, nope, don't have any of that. So okay,
right. Struggle is real. I mean, I as a Sony pony, I would love to just like go up to the top of a skyscraper and be like, "We finally won!" But it's just not true. Like I said before, this is pretty much just PlayStation Now bundled together. Is that cool? Yeah. And I kind of feel the exact same way you do about PlayStation Now, which is like I'll scroll through and I'll be like, oh, this is really cool. Every once in a while they'll put it in a game. Then like, I never played that because like I didn't want to spend the money, which is not a glowing recommendation, right? But it's like I didn't want to spend the money on it. So it's like, okay, yeah, sure. I guess I'll download that and play it. But yeah, there's just nothing that ever sticks out to me. I'd say the biggest whoa is last month, because I guess this will be out on April 1st in audio form. So last month, they came out with, what's it called? Shadow Warrior 3, I think. And so that was kind of cool because that was day and date, and that was the first time PlayStation has ever done something like that. So that's really cool. Well, who do we have here?
It's my son.
Yeah.
You say hi, Cooper? You say hi to Weiler? Say hi, Weiler.
Hi. No.
We're grumpy.
It's okay. It's okay.
We're grumpy.
But yeah, so all we're really getting is PlayStation Now, but not. So it's like it's such a weird thing, especially now that we have like 3 tiers, because I think the only thing that is technically being added is that now we might get some PlayStation 1, 2, and PSP games. That's the only thing that's really being added, because you could already stream PlayStation 3 games on PlayStation Now. So and Sony has already outright just came out and said, oh god, sorry, I got thrown off. Somebody said something about audio, so I was like, oh no, is our audio messed up? But no, he's just saying that it's playing at the same time as an ad. But no, Sony has actually already come out and said that, like, for instance, like the first party thing. So when God of War comes out, when the next, big tentpole thing comes out, it's not going to come day and date for, this new PlayStation Plus. So it's like already that makes it a worse deal than Game Pass. So
all the Sony exclusive stuff isn't going to be free to play. You still have to buy it.
Yep, you still have to buy it. You still have to,
So that's one thing I really liked about Game Pass is I got to go back and play all the Gears of War games that I didn't have the money for when they came out.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, but if a new Xbox exclusive comes, so like Halo, when the campaign came out, that came out day and date on Xbox Game Pass, and it's just like without something. I mean, even if it was like okay, God of War is a huge one. God of War very well could be a Game of the Year contender. So if you didn't want to put that one on the PlayStation Now equivalent or whatever the heck, if you didn't want to put that, I would at least be able to understand, But it's like, what is it? Is it going to be like 3 months later, 6 months later? Do we have to wait a year? What's the deal? Because like, you are clearly doing this to compete with Game Pass. But if you don't big freaking names out on the day that they come out, what is the point?
Right.
You know, I mean, it's a bad example because I didn't love the game, but like Back for Blood. Back for Blood came out, and that came out day and date on Game Pass. I was an idiot and bought it on PlayStation, so I spent full price. But something like that on the PlayStation, I mean, they'd have a lifetime subscriber if they did stuff like that. So yeah, they have Shadow Warrior 3. So can we expect games like that? This kind of third tier, you know, double A or 1A kind of game? Or yeah, it's kind of weird, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, they're gonna actually give us some AAA good stuff, or is it all gonna be here's a chicken wing?
yeah,
Got you. I got you. Got your present.
Well, I mean, you know what? Speaking of Microsoft, let's get into Bungie. Well, not no. Okay, no. That's not 343. And Halo. You know, have you tried out the new Halo campaign?
Briefly.
I
think I got a couple missions in, and then.
Well, you know what would probably make it a lot funner, especially for streamers? Co-op, which they didn't launch with, and they're also delaying. And it's like, at this point,
yes.
Guys, you delayed it for an entire year. An entire year. What kind of condition would it have been in if you didn't take a whole freaking year? Because like you don't have Forge, you don't have co-op.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so much missing from it. And I even saw a report somewhere that it lost 95% of its players. And it's like,
oh yeah,
damn.
It got stale very quickly.
Yeah.
As far as viewership goes, it's still fun to play as far as the multiplayer and stuff like that. But again, like just looking at Twitter, there's like half of the guys that I follow that are Halo guys are like, Halo BR, Halo BR. Come on. You can do it, Halo BR.
Click.
Do it. But yeah, it took everybody by surprise when it launched. Everyone got super hyped, and then they just did nothing.
Yeah.
Like, here's this awesome, very refined, very competitive, complete multiplayer, and then they did nothing with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
talk about putting something out to die. Like, I'm not a huge Halo fan, and in fact, like, I just despise Halo multiplayer back in the day because I just wasn't good at it. Fast forward to Infinite, I pop it on, I get my Xbox controller on my laptop, and I'm like, oh, this is actually good. I'm actually good. Oh, geez, I'm having fun. Hold on.
Yeah.
Got a burp stuck right here. There it is. Okay, we're good. Take two. But I mean,
yeah, I had a lot of fun with the multiplayer.
Yeah, tons of fun.
I streamed it I think twice.
Yeah,
but and it was just that I got tried ranked and tried all this other stuff and was like, this would be really fun, and then I got pissed off with playing with randoms and none of my buddies were playing multiplayer. They were all playing COD, and it's like, oh, back to Warzone I go.
Yeah. Which does suck. I do feel like if you did give me a choice between Warzone and Halo, I think I would prefer Halo, which once again, coming from a Sony pony, says a lot because I like the way it feels. It feels like classic Halo, but refined enough where a dum-dum like me feels like he can actually do stuff. And for it to just go so downhill, and now you can't even deliver co-op. Like, that was already like a cardinal sin because every Halo has had a co-op. So it was already a cardinal sin to launch without that. But I feel like you told people, hey, it's going to be on the way, don't worry. So people gave them a certain amount of respect and a certain amount of trust. And so now you know, we're not coders. We don't know how to make video games, obviously.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, what are you guys doing? Because, like, are you just doing bug fixes? Because I feel like I still hear about there being bugs. So, okay, you're not doing bug fixes. You're not doing content because, like, the last season lasted, like, 80 years, right? So what are you doing? You know? And it's just sad. It's so sad because, I mean, if anything, I want things like that to do good because competition breeds, you know, just better games, basically.
And if there was competition for Warzone right now, Warzone wouldn't be in the state that it's in. It's unplayable. For me, Caldera is almost unplayable.
Yeah.
I haven't been on in a week or two. Apparently, it's better. But at the same time, that map is tragic. I still have fun with it, but it's tragic compared to Verdansk.
Yeah.
So, if they had a healthy competition besides Fortnite and Apex, if there was another big name in there, like, I feel like it would challenge all of these studios to up their game.
Yeah, definitely. I think probably the biggest thing that I guess the biggest, like, frustration that I've heard this week as far as, like, industry news was everything that was coming out about Gran Turismo 7. Now, obviously, that is a Sony exclusive, but have you at least maybe heard about that?
I played Gran Turismo 3, I think, on my PlayStation. I haven't heard of any of the news with 7.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's a couple of things. So, like, for one, it's always online until it isn't, because there was, like, maintenance, and so the maintenance effed it up, so it was down for a whole day. So even though there's a single-player component to the game, people couldn't even play the game. And then, of course, they did the thing, and I hate this thing because a lot of developers are starting to do it, and that is they put out a version of the game, right? And let's say it has absolutely no microtransactions. All the reviews come out. They're like, oh my God, this is such an awesome game. And and then the game actually comes out. Day one patch comes out and they nerf the credits so that you weren't making as much. And they added microtransactions.
Oh, no.
The worst part, the most infuriating part is that there's actually a cap to how much you can have of non-paid currency. So they cap that, but they don't cap how much you can buy. And the only reason people found out about that
break out the credit card.
Right? The only reason people found out about it is because in their blog they talked about how they upped it from like 20 to 100. And I feel like there was a good majority of people that didn't even realize there was a cap until they saw that, and they're like, oh, that's messed up. It's like, thanks for upping it, but also, why is there a cap?
Like 20 million? I don't
million,
know.
Million. Yeah, so it's in-game currency. And so, yeah, there are certain cars that will cost like 14 million. And those are the upper-end cars. Those are the fantasy cars. That's the reason you get the game, is so that you can escape into a fantasy world. And, you know, like, the creator of the game tried to come up with some kind of bullshit about how we wanted to simulate what it's like to buy these cars. It's like, okay, by making us pay real world money and or have to play the game as a job.
Like, but then being able to go into garage and be like, this needs a turbo. This front wheel drive vehicle needs all wheel drive now, even though that was never an option. I'm sure they figured it out.
Yeah. So it's like, I hear this and it's like, the industry, as far as like when it comes to these type of games, the industry is just so broken. And it's like, I think the most frustrating part is when a game comes out and it makes this mistake and they walk it back and it's like, okay, this is the line, guys, don't cross it. But then another game comes out and they're like, oh, look up here, way past the line. You're like, no, didn't you learn from the last guy? Don't do that shit.
Didn't you get the memo?
Yeah, I mean,
nope. No memo here.
Yep. I mean, then you have those stupid PR emails that they put out, and so like, we have listened to the community.
Have you?
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to deliver some upsetting news.
Right. Like, all right, so I think that's going to be the show. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this episode of Nick and Nate Plus More. I was Nick.
I was Sestacles.
And we will see you guys next week. Next week, we're probably going to do, I don't know, I think we'll do movie 20 questions. You know, so if you guys want to join in on that, that would be great. All right, guys. You guys have a great day, and everybody come back next Thursday for another episode of Nick and Nate Plus More.